Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today, where we always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays, coming to you from the Sports Interaction Studio. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. Breaking news last evening, folks. Max Scherzer is coming back to the Toronto Blue Jays. 1-year deal. Blue Jays Today guy as well. Max Scherzer, phenomenal individual and such a clubhouse presence. We're going to break down what that means for this team, this rotation, and just give our overall thoughts as to where this roster is at right now, specifically the pitching walking in to this season. Now, this is something that they've been flirting with for a little while right now. Mad Max, it is feeling like it was becoming more and more likely as time went on, and then last night they finally made it official. Jon Heyman with the tweet announcing it all right here. He's coming back. It's a 1-year deal, and it's for $3 million, I believe. But there's also some additional incentives depending on how much he actually sees the field.
Yeah, that was the big question when we first heard that Max Scherzer and the Blue Jays were talking was, well, what is that contract going to even look like? You know, because he's a guy that last year got paid, $15-ish million and a veteran dude, but he is 42 years old. He's getting up there in age. And as we saw in the last few years, there's a lot of injury history that's happened with him. He's not the same Max Scherzer as he was 5, 6, 7 years ago. So what are you going to do if you're the Blue Jays who already has a stacked rotation? Well, first of all, you pay him for a lot less. $3 million is the base, but you give him the incentives. And I really wish baseball leaned into incentives more to make players want to play more. You don't just give them the bag outright and then, whatever happens. Now Max Scherzer's motivated. Okay, I want to make an extra $7 million on this. I got to at least start with 65 innings pitched, according to Ken Rosenthal. That's kind of when the incentives start. So I assume it's going to go based on like increment milestones of innings pitched that he would have to hit to make a little bit more money, which will encourage him to stay healthy. But maybe the Blue Jays could manipulate a little bit, but either way, it encourages him to want to go out there, stay healthy, and pitch more.
Here's the thing. I was never really worried about that aspect of things. Like, I think Max Scherzer is as motivated as anyone on the field. What I do think that is great for the Toronto Blue Jays here, though, is you're not just dishing out $15 million for somebody who's never going to pitch, because there's also the reality that Max Scherzer could easily get injured or could run into a roadblock with that rotation where he doesn't see the field as much if he doesn't have it. If he is seeing the field, though, and if you are getting value out of him, then you're going to pay accordingly, and it's $10 million total in incentives. So actually, the maximum contract is $13 million if he gets out there and he's pitching all the time and does a good job. Also, no trade protection. So, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be a Toronto Blue Jay, which, again, I think is great for both sides. Max, in the worst case scenario, he's going to get $3 million to sit on his butt and do nothing and just be on a cool ball team. And best case scenario, he gets $13 million and he's touching the field once every 5 days.
Yeah, and now the Blue Jays obviously have a plan with him, and they're going to slowly roll him out as he gears up. He hasn't obviously been in spring training yet, so he's got to take a little bit more time to get ramped up. Ben Nicholson-Smith comes out here and says, from what I've heard last week, the Blue Jays will take it slowly with Scherzer, and they aren't about to rush him onto an opening day roster. Could be weeks into the season. This is great for the Blue Jays in multiple reasons. One, you don't want to rush him, hurt him, and then, okay, well, our investment just is done like that. You want to, now that you've seen how he kind of progresses throughout the years, especially last year with the Blue Jays, you got to take a little bit more time with him, considering the age and the injury history. And the number two is you have a jammed roster right now. Completely jammed. You got 6 men right now, currently, according to Fangraphs, in the rotation. That's not including Shane Bieber in that mix as well. That would make it a 7-man rotation. Obviously, they're not running out a 7-man rotation, but if Max Scherzer could start the year on like the IL or a phantom IL, then he removes at least from the early equations of the season, and you can ramp him up later on when inevitably there is going to be some injuries or what have you. Max Scherzer might be able to find a spot then. It's just a good situation for the Blue Jays being where prior year you're looking at, what is our depth after our top 5? Our depth after our top 5 now is Max Scherzer.
Yeah, man, we got insurance for days, dude. Like, they are not gonna lose this season, this World Series window season, due to a freak Tommy John, or a couple bad injuries. Like, they don't want to let that happen. How many times have we seen good teams just get riddled with injuries, and it's like, oh shit, there's another year in the window gone down the drain? Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, they say, nay, we ain't going to let that happen. Take a look at what this rotation has done in the span of 12 months right here. Walking into last season, you got Kevin Gausman, you got Chris Bass, you got Jose Brios. We like all those three, okay? I still like those three guys. Obviously, Bassett now on a division rival, but Gausman, Brios, that was pretty nice, right? Then you followed it up with Max Scherzer. We were hopeful there. We were hopeful. Bowden Francis, we were very hopeful. But, maybe I was a little fool's gold right there. Eric Lauer, and then Easton Lucas. That translates itself right now, 12 months later, to Dylan Cease, which is obviously an upgrade in there. We're still not sure exactly what we're going to get, but definitely very hopeful with Dylan Cease. Gausman still being Gausman. You Savage, Rookie of the Year, one of the favorites right now, slotted into that rotation. Bieber, yes, he's on the IL, but not for, or injured, but will not be there for very long into the season. Cody Ponce, who was gassing it up.
He was doing good yesterday.
To 96.5 miles per hour yesterday. That's filthy shit. Max Scherzer again, and then Jose Brios, and they don't even slot in Eric Lauer here,
I know,
who is still on the team, mind you, just in a bullpen role. I mean, it is night, it is day, it is a really good spot to be in if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan who likes pitching.
It's crazy when you think back to last year where the Blue Jays won 94 games, and for a while, and at some moments, they were kind of wondering, okay, who's going to pitch for us? Who's going to be our five-man rotation? Because they actually suffered a decent amount of injuries, and near the end, right near the before the postseason, they had that like makeshift rotation of obviously Gausman leading the force, but you trade for Shane Bieber, you toss in Max Scherzer, who's coming off and on the IL a bunch, and then and then you have Trey Savage, the rookie coming up, who's never played in big league baseball before this year. So it was a makeshift rotation. Ross Atkins is making sure that we know exactly what we're going to get, at least giving us the insurance of what we know we're going to get early on in the year, rather than having to figure that out. Because you look back at the guys after, even Max Scherzer was a question mark last year.
Yeah,
Bowden Francis was a question mark hopeful. Eric Lauer, we didn't know what we were going to get. East Lucas, we had no idea what we're going to get. This is the Blue Jays going all in and securing the best possible chance to, number one, get back to the postseason, but have chance at having success in the postseason and running at the World Series.
Yeah,
again.
I mean, when we were walking into this offseason here, you look at you zoom out, you look at the numbers from last season, okay? You don't go too much of a deep dive into everything, but you just look at what were we good at, what were we bad at. Well, we were bad at starting pitching.
Yeah.
So let's go out and let's get a bunch of starting pitching.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did right there. Now, let's just talk about very quickly to wrap this thing up here with expectations for Max Scherzer.
I feel like we had this podcast before.
Right. Well, ultimately, last year, there were some stretches where he was awesome. There were some stretches where he was not awesome. And ultimately, he finished the regular season with an ERA of 5.19 over 85 innings. So if he did that again, he would get I think a decent chunk of those incentives money, that $10 million extra from those incentives and those innings pitched. But the ERA wasn't great. Now he goes to the playoffs. He has 2 starts in the playoffs, and he was pretty awesome. And he gave the Toronto Blue Jays a chance to win in both of those games' critical moments. Expectations from just an on-the-field standpoint for you for Max Scherzer? Honestly,
now that the contract is $3 million, and obviously if he plays more, the incentives will go up, and I think he'll be paid accordingly. But if it's $3 million, my expectation, I'm maybe 3 or 4 or 5 starts. It really doesn't matter to me. What actually matters the most to me, because you are Max Scherzer, is get yourself healthy and ready for an opportunity to potentially pitch postseason baseball. Now, not if we're fully healthy and we have guys that are stacked and we don't need Max Scherzer, that's fine. Just be readily available. What if one series we need you to come in? That's why we're kind of bringing you in. You were awesome in the postseason last year, Max Scherzer. If you could just have yourself healthy and ready by then, that's kind of really all I'm looking for, if I'm going to be honest. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I look at Mad Max right here, his season from last year, and ultimately the ERA isn't great. And I know that this is a silly stat for pitchers. 5 wins, 5 losses. All right. It wasn't an automatic L.
Wasn't automatic.
And I assume that, the alternative is we're throwing somebody in there that is, probably going to lose 80% of the games that they pitch. And I'm talking about the AAA alternative right here. If Max Scherzer's coming out or coming out of the rotation and pitching for you, it likely means that you are going through some rocky, some wavy times right there with health with other individuals, and you gotta weather that storm. Give us a chance to win an occasional ball game, pitch a month here, take a month off, pitch another month there when we need you. It's going to be a really unique way that they're going to roll him out. It's going to be something that I think you probably don't see very often among other MLB teams, but they have the luxury to do that because they are so deep. So that's what I'm hoping for, man. Just come out and start the games when we need you to, and don't be an automatic loss. And if you can have some momentum walking into playoffs like you did last year, fuck, that is just icing on the cake.
That's the thing. And I know some people out there are going to go, okay, well, what's going to happen if everybody's healthy and Max Scherzer's up on the team and we have a big logjam? That's an incredible problem if Max Scherzer's your 7th man in the rotation. That's incredible. That's a problem. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. Honestly, I don't care. We're going all in this year.
Well, and also, okay, big problem. I mean, Cody Ponce was just lighting it up 96.5 on the radar gun. Hey, you want to toss a couple bullpen innings this series because everyone's healthy?
Do you want Max Scherzer to start and then Cody, you want to finish it off?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's ways that like you can get creative with it, and as long as all the guys are feeling just a little bit flexible, like that's all we're asking for. Can you be a little flexible?
And I think that this clubhouse, the personalities, and obviously some of the new guys, I don't know about them, but I heard that they are going to gel well. The personality is let's do anything for your brother and let's do anything to win and go back to the World Series this year. And if it means, okay, like my start and is conflicting with the legend Max Scherzer's potential start, let's just put them together, says John Schneider. Okay, well, I'm going to do it because it's going to help out the team. I'm going to rest the bullpen. We got to get through 162 so we can get to the ultimate goal is getting to postseason. Not about my today on the Saturday afternoon
exactly. And Max Scherzer definitely knows that. He easily could have hung him up, retired, went off into the sunset, and still been a first ballot Hall of Famer. The fact that he's coming back for only potentially $3 million just shows how bought in he is on this clubhouse, on this team, on this vision, and I imagine that he's not the only one. But folks, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month to become a YouTube member. Shouldn't take it all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!